Hello and welcome to the Positive Vet Nurse channel, and I hope that everyone is doing really well today. So, if you don't know me already, my name is Ellie and I'm a registered veterinary nurse based in the UK, and I work in general practice part-time alongside running the Positive Vet Nurse. So, I've been in clinic around 10 years now, so a long time, and I'm hoping from starting this YouTube channel that I can kind of share my words of wisdom, my advice, tips and tricks, things like that, to hopefully help you along your journey. And I think the best place for us to start today is to talk to you about mindset shifts that have helped me in my career. So I hope you enjoy the video, and of course don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give it a like for me. That would be amazing. Thank you. So mindset shift number one is you don't need to know everything. And I feel there's like this unspoken expectation that as a vet nurse you must know everything, and that is simply just not the case. And I feel like myself, I put a lot of pressure on myself for this and put myself to such a huge high standard of which I would never ever meet. And not knowing something made me feel that I was incompetent, it made me feel like I was stupid, that I wasn't good enough. It made me feel a bit like a fraud as well, especially when I'd qualified. I was like, was I even supposed to have qualified? Was that a fluke? And even as a student, I would go to BVNA Congress, I would get every journal under the sun, I would do all the free CPD webinars that I could. And although these aren't bad things, and I always encourage learning, but it's just that I never had time to be, just Ellie. I was always Ellie the vet nurse, Ellie the vet nurse that always has to be learning. And the thing is with me as well, I don't retain information very well. Like, if I'm going to learn something, I really need to sit down and I need to work out my own way of learning, whether that's through visual stuff and repetition as well. Whereas I was just kind of forcing myself to know everything. And I find as well that if you are learning things that you're not necessarily that interested in, and of course there's so many different topics and niches that you can go into within veterinary nursing, I don't expect everybody to like the same thing. And for me, I was forcing myself to like things that, one, I probably won't see in practice, or two, that I just don't have much of an interest in. So it's even harder to then retain even more information. And basically, when I was a student, I started the Positive Vet Nurse on Instagram, which is all about mental health and positivity within the profession. And it got to the point where I actually felt like I was a little bit of a hypocrite to my own words because, I was constantly burning myself to the ground to know everything when realistically nobody knows everything. Like, no one in the world knows absolutely everything. And I just felt that, if I'm going to be on this platform promoting positivity and promoting and advocating for better mental well-being, I can't be sat here showing you that I don't rest, that I don't have a minute to myself to do things that I enjoy, to do my hobbies, and that I was literally just constantly with my head in a book or in the laptop learning something and wouldn't have any time to see my friends, family, or do anything of joy, really. So I had to really let go of that part of me that thought that if I didn't constantly learn, it meant that I wasn't good enough. So I had to really let that go. And the thing is, as you go along in your career, you will learn naturally. You will meet different people that have had different experiences, that know different things, that have different passions, and they have their own niche that they love and that they can teach you. and also from the cases that you do, because we know that nothing is ever the same in veterinary practice. We always get the weird and wonderful. And also if you ever go into referral work as well, like I did, you then learn lots and lots of different things along the way there. And now that we have the likes of social media, and from when I started my platform, about 8 years ago now, is that we now have lots and lots more niche accounts, whereas when I first started there wasn't that many, but now there seems to be so many nurses that are sharing their niche and their passions, which is absolutely amazing. I encourage it, and you can learn from them as well. So you can learn naturally. You don't have to constantly be forcing yourself to know absolutely everything. And even so, a lesson that I have learned is that now with my student, I don't know everything, and sometimes she'll come up to me and ask me a question and I genuinely don't know the answer, or it might be that I've not visited that topic for a long time, or I've not done that calculation for a long time. So I'll say, you know what, honestly, I'm not sure, but let's go find out together. And this kind of models that behaviour of, let's go find out together, let's be collaborative, let's learn together, let's build that rapport with each other. And we're not promoting a culture where not knowing something means that you're not good enough, or that you're stupid, or whatever else you think it means. And it's also the same with my clients as well. And I definitely think that clients would rather you be honest with them than you just tell them just anything. And I even know this with myself. If I've ever been to the doctors, you probably know this as well, if you've been to the doctors or any sort of healthcare professional and you feel like you're being kind of palmed off, and you feel like they didn't really know the answer and they've just told you something just to kind of shut you up and make you go away. Women's health, just as an example. I would rather somebody say to me, you know what, actually I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to go away, I'm going to find out, and I'm going to tell you in the next couple of hours or the next couple of days. And my clients that I normally see are exactly the same, especially if it's in nutrition and they've brought to me this new funky food that I've never heard of before, because there are so many brands out there. I will say to them, oh, you know what, I need to research this a little bit more and see if this is actually appropriate for your animal, and we will work with it that way. And they are much happier with me going away and then coming back to them with the right information than getting all flustered and maybe not spending as much time on it as I could if I knew the answer and I've researched it and I've had that time. So yeah, I think people appreciate that a lot more. And the whole thing about this is that it's understanding that learning comes through, these lived experiences within your career. So please don't feel like you need to know everything. Please take that pressure off yourself. It's impossible to know everything. And yeah, just be yourself and learn naturally. Mindset shift number 2 is that confidence comes through action. So I'm going to tell you a little story now. So back in, I think it was 2020, I think it might have been, is I basically left my referral practice to then go to another referral practice, which was literally down the road from me. And it seemed like such a really big opportunity. And I was branching into medicine nursing, so I thought that's something that I would really enjoy. However, after a couple of weeks, I realised that the culture was absolutely terrible, awful, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I was crying every day in my car on the way to work, on the way back from work, and it just got to a point where I couldn't do it anymore. And one day I just walked out of the place. I just went, I can't do this, I'm sorry. And I walked out with no backup plan, nothing at all. And I felt really low at that time as well, because I thought, have I just given up on something? Did I give up too easily? Did I not give it enough time? But I knew how that was making me feel with my own kind of mental health, and it just didn't feel right for me to keep putting myself in that situation. So I had a good friend of mine that suggested that I started locuming, and my immediate reaction was, I've just had my confidence shattered at this place. Like, how am I supposed to do that? And she told me that I'd just build confidence along the way as I go, but I didn't really fully believe her, but I tried it anyway. Now, I've been locuming now for 4 years, and it's one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my whole career. And yeah, I've had a few confident knocks along the way, but they're learning curves at the end of the day. It's inevitable that's going to happen. But if I'd have waited to feel confident first, I would have completely stayed stuck. And often what makes people realise that they need to get out of a situation kind of like that is the motivation. So it's not wanting to feel that horrible, dread in your stomach, that feeling sick every day, that upset, feeling that you get. And as well, for me, another motivation was the fact that I knew that I needed to pay for my mortgage. So I guess that was a little bit of motivation. And at the time, it was during COVID. So the prices they were paying for locums was just absolutely extortionate. I think one shift I was on £40 an hour, which is really, really unheard of. Absolute madness now that I think about it, but they were so desperate for locums, so I literally joined bang on right at the right time. And that bad experience that I had in that referral practice basically pushed me to build my confidence. Like, I was the one that had to choose to step into that uncomfortability, but the thing is, it was going to be too painful to stay in that situation. So I just pushed myself and just thought, you know what, if it doesn't work, I can always get another job. I can always find something else, it's fine. And it did work out, it was absolutely fine. So confidence didn't come before the action, it came because of the action that I took. So have a little think about that next time that you want to do something. Remember that you have to take action in order to feel that thing. Mindset shift number 3 is being scared doesn't mean don't do it. So often more than that, we don't want to push ourselves out of our comfort zones because we are scared. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do that thing. Often it means that we should be doing that thing even more, actually, which sounds crazy, but it's true. Like, most of the amazing things that we can do in our lives and in our career is often built around pushing ourselves through that scary feeling that, oh, I don't know whether to do this or not. But you can absolutely do it. And I decided to do my coaching certificate during one of the lowest points of my profession. This was during when I was locuming. I went through a really tough time, and I thought, there's got to be something more that I can do. It's got to be something else that I was put here for. And I know that sounds really cringe, but I genuinely thought there's got to be something. And I absolutely love helping people. I love talking to people about my experiences and seeing how I can help people through that, which is why I have started YouTube. And it was really exciting to do the coaching certificate, but it's also really scary because it got to the point where I was like, right, you need to come up with your own business now. And it's like, me come up with my own business? Say what? And the fear wasn't the doing it, it was everything around it, in the sense of, what will people think about me? I've always been a vet nurse, so now I'm suddenly going to be a coach. Is that going to be a bit strange? Like, will anybody even care that I'm doing this? And another thing that came into mind was, would anyone even want to be coached by me? Would anyone even want that? So there's quite a lot of doubt that came into the mix. And the thing is as well, is that posting content on socials can always feel a little bit cringy from time to time, and that worry never kind of fully goes away. I've always been quite self-conscious as well, but then what I've realised along the way is that people don't really care what you're doing as much as what you think they do, and it's something called a spotlight effect. So it's almost as if you think that there is this massive light that is shining onto your face and that everybody is staring at you, kind of like somebody who's on stage singing or doing a stand-up. The spotlight is on them, everybody is watching them. And the thing is, that is not actually the case, because when you think about it, people have so much on their minds right now. There's so much going on in the world, and people have a lot more to worry about than what you say, what you do, how you look. And for me, that's been an amazing realisation for me, and it's still something that I am working on as a very self-conscious person. But I'm realising now that a lot of the time people just want to hear what you've got to say, and those that actually really appreciate what you're doing will stay, and they will learn from what you've said. They will turn up in the comments, they will, be there for your offerings, and yeah, they'll want you to help them. They'll be there invested in what you have to say. And it does go to show, because I have helped so many people in this profession, vets and nurses, and people aspiring to be vets or nurses as well. And my niche has kind of gone into helping vet nurses build their confidence in clinics so that they can do amazing things in their career. If they're feeling lost, they've lost the spark in what they're doing, I am here to help with that. And here I am doing YouTube, and I'm doing it scared as well. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with this channel. It might get 5 views and a couple of subscribers, or it might do really, really well. And I hope it is the latter, because I do think this profession needs these conversations right now. And I always say this to anybody that does feel frightened about, taking the next steps. It's that the cost of not doing something out of fear will always be bigger than just giving it a go and seeing what happens. Like, if something doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least you've given it a go and you've tried. I think that is the main thing here, to always remember that yes, you can do it scared, you can give it a go, and if it doesn't go to plan, that's okay. And if it does, what if it does? All the amazing things that you can do. So I think that point is one of the most important ones. If you're going to take anything away from this video, it's that. Mindset shift number 4 then is stop waiting to feel ready. So going on from when I was talking about starting YouTube up, when we got furloughed in practice during the pandemic, I had all the time in the world and I still didn't start it. I think I tried some video content on like Instagram, but I didn't. And sometimes I think about if I would have started like TikTok back then, when everybody was literally on it because there's nothing else better to do. I always think about what opportunities maybe I could have gotten, or where I could have been in my career now if I would have done that. And that what if will always be something that bothers me. Even though I'm happy with where I am now, I always do wonder about what opportunities could have come my way. And the thing is, even after furlough and after I moved practices and became self-employed, I still kept putting it off. Even again, when I did have time to do it, like, I always just managed to find an excuse around it. And like this time round, I've decided I'm just doing it. I'm giving it a go. Even if I don't 100% know what I'm doing, I'm still going to give it a go. And I think it's because deep down, I know that feeling of being ready will never magically come. I'm never going to wake up one morning and go, you know what, I'm 100% completely ready to give this a go. right? It's never really gonna happen. I'd be waiting forever. So I don't want this to be another one day, and then wondering if ever it will become anything. And I know that what I'm doing here will genuinely help people and it will create some real opportunities. So the cost of me waiting has already been too expensive, so I don't want to have to keep paying that price. So that's something for you to remember, is that don't wait until you are ready to take the next step. Work out what is one small action that you can take towards that goal or that thing that you want to do, and just go for it. One day just say, yep, on this day I am going to do this one action that is going to go. And the thing, it's like a domino effect, that once you keep going, and once that motivation keeps building up and you're showing yourself that, yeah, I can absolutely do this, yeah, let's give it another go, you will be one step closer to getting what you want. So don't wait until you feel ready. So the last mindset shift, number 5, is your career can evolve. Now, I started as a student vet nurse with an Instagram account. I had about 100 followers, of which most of those were my friends' pets who had more followers than me. I know. And now I have 14,000 on Instagram alone. That isn't my other socials that I have as well, that I have more on those as well. And through what I've done in my career and taking my passion with me everywhere that I have gone, I have done public speaking events, I've done a talk about neurodivergency at BVA Live. I have done neurology webinars for the BVNA. I've done them for students as well, with more on their way. I've got another talk at the BVNA in October, which I'm really excited about doing, and I hope to see some of you there if you are there. And I've also had my work published quite a few times in different articles. I was shortlisted for an award with the BSAVA, I think it was, back during COVID, so I never got to see if I would have won that award or not, but I was shortlisted for it, and that was a research paper that I did all about mental health in the veterinary profession. And yeah, I've been on lots of different webinars, I've been a guest speaker on people's podcasts, I've had my own podcast channel that I started, and now I have YouTube, and I think it's safe to say there's going to be a lot more opportunities, and I will full on take them. And as well, not only that, is that I have also met some really, really incredible people along the way as well. People that have taught me lots of different lessons, and lifelong friendships as well, which is really, really nice. And for saying that started as this little tiny idea, this little Instagram account that I thought, I'm just doing this for a bit of fun, just to kind of share, mental health in the profession, maybe help one person. I've now got it to be an actual business where I get to make a difference in the profession and I get to help people, which is amazing, and it really does warm my heart quite significantly that I get to do that, and that is my work. And none of that was planned. It was all trial and error, and yes, I've made some mistakes and I've also come out the other end with them as well, but I just built it up to be what I wanted it to be and what I felt most passionate about, and it genuinely makes me happy as well. Because our careers in veterinary, they don't have to be mundane, they don't have to be the same thing where you just work in a practice. Like, there's so many more things that you can do now, and whatever it is, whatever niche that you want to do, you can take your vet nursing title and make it into whatever career that you want it to be. I strongly believe that we are never stuck in this profession, as much as we think sometimes we can be. there's so much that you can do with your title, and everything that I have done is because of it. So yeah, if there is something that you want to do, please chase it. Don't wait till you feel ready. Go for it, and take all the mindset shifts from this video, and yeah, make something amazing in your career, and do whatever it is that you want to do. So yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which mindset shift you resonated with the most. And again, if you could give it a like and subscribe for me, that would be really appreciated. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.